Hi, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. Um, Happy Valentine's Day to the people on the other side of the world. Yeah, I'm not gonna say Happy Super Bowl Day. Uh, I think most of the people that um, I come in contact with on YouTube, real or through even any other platform, realize that it's all contrived and set up just like everything else in their satanic system or whatever we want to call it. But, ooh, I'm going to tell you about something on Facebook today. Just a minute. Cheers. This morning, I was trying to write about and tell people that may not be aware that within the crowds of the trucking convoys and the protesters are people that have Confederate flags and swastikas and all that baloney. They're not a part of it. They're insurgents. They're put there to make everybody else look like they're out of their minds. And there's people within those crowds that are telling them to go home. There's people in them crowds that are swearing at people or whatever. And, that's not what people that are out there that are mean in business as far as standing up for what we do or do not want in our bodies and what type of laws we want in our world. They're not out there in a vile manner. They're hardworking people. And then that brings another thing to mind. That's what Facebook was doing to me this morning. I was trying to type something out. I'd get it all typed out, and as soon as I put like swastika or Confederate, boom, it would erase everything. So I had to put um, what I was talking about, the context of it at the very bottom and give an explanation at the top. I'd have to paste it or copy it and then paste it after I opened my sentence with other words that the algorithms wouldn't catch, so they wouldn't kick me off. And that happened like several times. I mean, so many times on this one post, I was trying to talk about, how they took the fuel from the truckers. They were trying to make it illegal for the truckers to have even extra fuel cans there, and took wood from the people that were around there. And these are people that have children. There's some people in them vehicles that have no homes anymore because of the way the economy is. And they've gone to their capital and they're trying to talk some sense into these monsters. And four provinces, or maybe six, Doug said he heard this morning, in provinces in Canada um, have dropped their mandate stuff. I told him I just felt like it was part of a setup to kind of quiet the people down a little bit, that they're not really going to stop what they're doing because it's they're going full bore with what their intentions are. Just a minute, I'll get to, we all know pretty much what's going on, but some may not. So I'm just talking about it in this minute. As far as having smart cities and having everybody live within those cities confined by electricity. Um, what do they call it? Well, it is an electronic confinement. Like if you go outside of the city, it'd be like living in a giant Walmart. You have your pod you live in, you have your food that you can go and get or anything that you need, and you spend like digital currency on it. But if you don't behave and don't do exactly what they want you to do, they will cut you off, that type of thing. And we all know that we've seen videos of other truth tellers showing us the FEMA camps and the rest of that were set up years ago, you know. I do believe it was in 2018 on the East Coast. We had Russian military over here training with our soldiers, and that was a little curious because, we aren't usually on the friendliest of terms with these people. And that was the same year that Donald Trump had sent convoys of beige colored heavy artillery around the United States by train, and people were taking pictures of the artillery that was going to large cities as they were preparing for this, as Trump ushered in warp speed. You know, um, my point is they're two wings of the same bird, but we are the bird and we're bigger. And no, we're not backing down, you know. And I'm sure it is going to come down to, because if you want to work and eat, you're going to have to conform to getting jabbed and having your children jabbed or taken away, like I've heard reports of happening. Um, I don't exactly know the town. Pretty sure it was in Canada, and well, of course, we know that happens here too. But this is all overwhelming. I mean, not so overwhelming I can't deal with it, because I am totally prepared if anything like that happens. But a lot of people aren't, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I don't have any fear in that area. I can take care of myself, but a lot of people are going to be struggling. Families like the ones up in Canada. There's families that are cold in their car without homes because of all this stuff that they're pushing on the people. And, there again in my country, it's people. And if you're watching the Super Bowl, whatever, and whatever. But people are partying today what other people are freezing to death and dying and don't have homes. And that's a pretty serious situation. Of course, that happens a lot all over the world anyway, but it's worse than it's ever been because of all this. And now I heard something too on one of these Sunday morning programs. Um, I don't even know which one it was, but I heard some woman. Um, oh, it was so contrived. I'm like, you you are going to have so many women probably get their heads smashed in today from the words that she said, that it was the women. She repeated it more than once, that weren't going to work, that was causing the problems in the world, that were taking their children in and out of school. Then she repeated again that they weren't working, although there were jobs available. And I'm like, oh, you super, you know, that's just terrible, you know. So, yeah, anyway, I mean, literally, I've been around people that would use her words as the opportunity to really do people harm, you know, and instead of thinking, oh, oh gee, well, somebody did speak up on behalf of the women that some of them can't find babysitters. I mean, how do you pay for a home and food and insurance and gas? There's another thing. Why is our administration wanting to purchase gas and oil from another country when, like North Dakota in particular, there is 500,000 gallons, it's probably more than that, a day that is not being allowed to be pumped out of the ground, yet they want to buy it from other countries. That's a little ridiculous because we all know by now it is a renewable resource. It's like the lava in the earth. The rocks fall in, they melt, it makes more lava. The rocks fall in, it melts, makes more lava. The swamps where the vegetation is decomposes and makes oil, and the same and the same and the same over and over and over again, you know. So, yeah, what a bunch of contrived. And it's the factories, the big factories that they want to have super factories, and um um all conglomerations of uh like one major grocery store, one major religion, one major gender, one major no families, just everybody all the same in their little pods, eating their soy and their bugs. Which brings to mind, too, there was a study Sean Baker shared that children that are without animal protein, their bones have a tendency to have more breakage in their older age, and I can attest for that. I have osteoarthritis because of the way I was fed when I was younger, and all I got to say is somebody knows me and you're watching this, whatever, you weren't there. You only saw what they wanted you to see. And my kids can attest for it. My kids went to their house for a summer while I was going to school to get an education for them, some more, you know, not doing anything like drinking or smoking or anything, just minding my P's and Q's and getting an education for my children. My children, I would go and visit them on the weekend and stay there with them or bring them back where I was and then take them back for a few months. I did that. My children became fat from all the carbohydrates they were eating and all the several meals. I mean, yes, children need 3 meals a day, but you don't need 3 meals and 3 or 4 snacks or that type of thing. That's just ridiculous. And really, there's a lot of kids that don't even eat their 3 meals a day when they get in that, like my kids were older, but like a 4-year old, they'll just sit there and sort of play with their food. They're just not in the mood to. They don't have that growth spurt right at that moment. So you have to really judge how you feed your child. And my kids were like lean when they went there, and when they came back, I got them back into their leanness, but it took some effort, you know, because they gave them anything they wanted. And no, that is a poor ass grandparent. I've heard people say, well, we're only grandparents once and we'll give them this because they asked for it. No, you're just stupid. You're not caring about that child. If a child was raised with limited sugar and limited carbohydrates with a balanced diet, and then you go pouring all this garbage into them, you're killing them, and you're killing their future too, from their strength. And I would tell anybody, I'll tell you what, you eat some fruits and vegetables, And I like them too, don't get me wrong. But you eat your fruits and veggies and nuts and whatever. And then I'm going to eat some jerky and drink a glass of milk. And then we're going to spar. And we're going to see who has some energy to burn. Because I can tell you the difference of hard work and what it takes to actually use your muscles and your bones. So, anyway, and that is true. And, most of the people I know that are strong and lean um, have animal in their diets. I mean, I'm not against vegans, and don't get me wrong. It's just ones that are kind of pushing it on other people, because they're in this study that Sean Baker, MD, shared with people. Um, and I think it was today and last week he did one too, but today in particular, I think was about a school over in England that they were forcing this diet on the children. And they were telling the parents if you sent the lunch with your child to make sure that there was no animal protein in that lunch. That's ridiculous. The parents should be able to feed their children what they want to feed them. And I'm sure you probably agree. I mean, I go like several days a week without eating meat. I'm not, don't get me wrong. It's like Sean Baker, he's a carnivore carnivore diet, period. Um, and I've had times in my life where I have just ate meat, and if two reasons, it was either all I had or um, I needed it, and that's all my body was wanting at that time. So I just listen to what my body needs, you know, each day. So, yeah. Like last night, we had, which killed me all night because I'm allergic to them, but we had, oh, it was good. And I only had a half one, but I took giant portobello mushrooms and I cut mine in half and then had my half one in a little chunk. But I took and fried them in with olive oil and a little bit of butter. First, I took the buns and toasted them, and then I made mushroom Swiss burgers with the giant mushroom. And I did suffer all night long. My legs hurt, and then my stomach hurt this morning, and it was pretty awful. And I never used to be allergic to mushrooms. I'd have like oh, fried mushrooms, cream of mushroom soup, everything mushroom. Back in the day, they had was it Tombstone pizza with sausage and mushroom was my favorite. When I was really little, I liked pepperoni. Then I got into sausage and mushroom, and now I'm back to my favorite is pepperoni again, or combination pizzas. But I have to be careful because there's a lot of things, and I'm allergic to a lot of vegetables and all legumes, all nuts. So my diet is and whole grains. I can't have them. I can eat processed flour. I don't get fat. Um, I guess some people would think lucky me, but I love my favorite toast is cracked wheat toast with egg. I like to dunk it in there and it's so good, but I'm not supposed to have it. I can't find a good cracked wheat toast anymore unless I were to make it myself anyway. But yeah. So I don't like just like wheat bread and I'm not supposed to have that and I can't have brown rice. Even wild rice is a little hard on me. I am not supposed to have corn or spinach or asparagus and peas. Well, like I said, all legumes and beans, no beans. But I mean, I do eat these things. No tomatoes, but I eat them. I can have cucumbers and lettuce and celery. No onions. They can have garlic, which is odd. The onions bug me, but the garlic doesn't. But like I say, I have to be really careful. So it's just really weird. I had a Mayo Clinic skincare test. If some of you don't know what that is, they put these patches of different allergens on a sheet of plastic adhesive on your back, and they do two different tests that you leave it on for, like, I think it was a week, and then you come back and they see where each little square where they had an allergen you got infected or it bothered your body or whatever, that type of thing. And I was even allergic to the, which was supposed to be hyperallergenic adhesive that they put on me. So yeah, that was really. I'm allergic to all essential oils, um, paper, black plastic. Well, all kinds of all kinds of plastic, all metals except for um, platinum and sterling silver. Anything else bothers me. Um, yes, even the strings on my guitar, doesn't matter if they're brass or steel or nylon. I'm allergic to acrylics and nylons, and a lot of people are, you know. But anyway, so yeah, crazy world. I can't have oranges, no citrus. Um, see what else? Potatoes. That's one thing that bugs me, but I do still eat them. But yeah, yeah. It's like they say, like when you eat something, like recognize how your body feels. Like cabbage, I can't have that either. Recognize how does your body act after you have something. Do you feel sluggish or swollen or like now today? If some of you know, my face is puffy. Well, not it, a lot of it has to do with lack of sleep, but the allergy to the mushrooms, you know, it plugs up my sinuses. Actually, when I first start cooking the mushroom, my throat, I can feel it like swelling. I did take an allergy pill for it last night, but it's like still hurt, you know. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty disgusting what's going on in the world, right? With when your own governments come against you to try and control, and that's what it's all about. And this is not an opinion. This is a fact as far as any kind of germs on this planet. There is nothing new, you know. So um, I'm not talking about any V words. I'm not talking about anything else. And yes, I am a trained medical expert. And yes, I do have a right to my opinion. I'm just not going to violate community standards by going into anything that they say we actually cannot talk about, because we're not allowed to have a second opinion here, But yeah, the biggest thing that I want to make sure people spread the news to other people. When you see these Confederate flags and these swastikas and people out there yelling and screaming, and like Antifa did in BLM in Minneapolis here, ripping the city up, and what they did in Portland, Oregon, and all the rest, that those are not normal, um, God loving human beings that are caring about other people or their families. These are people that are placed in their insurgents to infiltrate the crowd to make everybody else look like they're crazy. So, and that's exactly what it is. And that's my biggest message today. Let people know. Keep using your voice. We are making a difference. Sharing our information and making sure we're just there for each other no matter what. Yeah, and we will be, because when that convoy starts coming by my house to march for Washington, um, on DC, I'm gonna help them any way I can, like make some sandwiches and go up by the freeway or whatever it takes, and just keeping making videos, talk, and share your information with your neighbor and your friends, and make sure they know that the people. Oh, and there's another aspect that they were trying to say that was happening in some of these convoys and peaceful protests, that a lot of them were like Qanons. QAnon, there is no such thing, and that was named after a company that's in Silicon Valley, California. Look it up. Um, that literally was like another infiltration movement, um, almost like a joke on the people. And their slogan is what the fallen angels, the Nephilim, said to each other: "Where we go one, we go all." Uh, that's that's their oath, and you're not supposed to take an oath. Did you know that? Yeah. So when you hear that, that's some of them in the crowd too, and there could be, but there's real reporters out there and real people, like veterans standing in front of people, regular citizens, to protect them from the police, because some of us saw like a 80-year-old little man getting ganked around in the crowd. There was another woman that got gassed in her face. And in France, that president, I don't recall his name right now, and thank you God I don't want to repeat it, wants his citizens that don't want to do what the government wants them to do dead. He wants to kill them. So, and that's how much they care about the people in the world, you know. And what would be the big deal of governing ourselves? We can govern ourselves. I don't need any law enforcement to tell me how to be a nice person. I'm fully aware how to do that by myself. If anything, I've had people destroy my things and steal from me and betray me and beat me up and do all kinds of things to me, try to kill me, and they've gotten away with it, and the government has helped them. That has been my experience. So that's true. So yeah, spread the word, people, that if you see swastikas and the rest of that crap, those are not our people. They are not the peaceful protesters, the family, God loving people. They're the people that only care about themselves, and they're getting paid to do it, either with money or favors. Or if it's like some of the government officials aren't stepping up and doing the right thing because they're being blackmailed. Now, I heard tell, and I can't prove that this is true, I don't know, but I just heard that Trudeau supposedly murdered a girl way back when, and he's being blackmailed with it. If he would just come out and tell the truth, yes, he would go to jail, but it would be better than being blackmailed, or um, worse. You know, God knows what's going to happen coming up here. But first, good people are not going to go bad. It is the bad ones in the crowd that are going to do bad things to make the good ones look horrible. And they've asked them ones with swastikas and flags and the rest of them yelling people, the stupid ones, just to calm down, go home. You're not part of us. You are not a part of this, and you're not welcome here. And that's what we need to do. We need to walk away from them. If they're over there screaming, just move over and ignore them, you know. So, and make sure that the people that you're around know that that's what's going on. So, like I said, everybody across the sea, happy Valentine's Day from my heart to yours. And the rest of my subs, thank you, everybody, for being here. And my friend, all my love to you. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.